So, Paul, in 2018, you and I are going to attempt to summit and then ski down Mont Blanc as one of the challenges, set ourselves as our year of challenges in 2018. For those that don't know, Mont Blanc is the highest peak in the Western Alps at 4,800 metres, Western Europe in fact, at 4,800 metres. Paul, how on earth does climbing Mont Blanc relate to our 5 key areas of business?
Right, well, if we start off with intelligence, not information, what is there? There's a huge amount of information out there about how to climb, what kit we need, what's going on. What's the vital part? What's the vital bits that we need to extract out of that? Is it the weather? Well, of course it is. Are we fit enough? Do we have the right skills? It's not just how many meters is Mont Blanc, where is it, and facts and figures. It's trying to extract what are the actual key bits of intelligence out of that information that's going to make the summit much more achievable.
Yeah, very good. And in fact, for me, I've some mountaineering experience, and for me, what as well is we hear people talk about summit fever. Summit fever is people becoming so focused on achieving their goal that they stop to see what's actually happening to them. For our safety, to seek out the intelligence rather than the information, to understand what is actually happening to us, what the snow conditions and the wind conditions are actually doing, and not be blinded by our goal, may well actually save our lives.
So, next one is presentation. How does presentation work in a alpine climbing environment? We're not going to be standing there doing PowerPoint presentations to each other, that's for sure. Really, presentation, as Tim said, is about communicating whatever my thoughts and decisions are to other members of the team. And so hopefully that will be myself, Tim, and our guide Mark being able to present our thoughts and experiences to each other in order for us to make the right decision at the time.
Yeah, and in fact, look at wider presentation. One of the drills we're up here practicing is crevasse rescue drills. Pretty scary, if I'm honest. But in fact, it's really important that the team does what it needs to do, when it needs to do it, clearly and concisely, in order to stop a hazardous situation becoming a fatal situation. And we do that through ensuring that whatever it is that Paul has asked me to do, I do effectively. And he does that by ensuring that he's presented what he needs me to do in a clear, concise, effective manner. More importantly, that I have understood what it is I need to do as a direct result of him presenting that intelligence back to me.
Which leads us nicely into collaboration. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's going to be me, it's going to be Tim, and it's going to be our guide, Mark Chadwick. If things do go wrong, we will need to collaborate on the crevasse rescue drill. You can't rescue yourself on your own. But hopefully it's not going to come to that. And so it's just going to be a collaboration in terms of all 3 of us getting up to the top and then getting down safely. And that can be when one of us is struggling a little bit, when one of us needs support. It's going to be the 3 of us collaborating together so that we as a team are stronger than the individual parts.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. And I think the other point that's worth making, when we come into a business context, we sometimes see some of our clients desperate to hold on to their clients, not wanting to give that client up. It's quite interesting in this environment. I've some substantial mountaineering experience. I've been to Mount Everest. Paul has Royal Marines Norway training, and in fact trekked into Svalbard across the glaciers. And yet even then we accept that what we need is more professional advice. So we seek out a mountain guide who can fill the gap into the skills that we don't have, park our own ego, look for the skills that are missing from our team, and combine those collaboratively to make hopefully a safe and successful trip onto Mont Blanc.
One of the best things I ever did when I was running West Point was to employ people who knew their little areas of HR, of accountancy, of finance, and to then free myself up to then concentrate on being a vet and earning the fees. So next one would be negotiation, Tim.
Yep.
How do you see negotiation really working in the Mont Blanc environment?
I think again for me it's about being honest with each other and being honest with the team. It's a different environment to look at, and I think for me, anytime you need something out of somebody else, you enter into some form of negotiation. We obviously have a corporate agenda to our ability to stand on top of Mont Blanc. Mark has the agenda of all of our safety, his reputation as a guide as well. So in fact we entered into a fairly lengthy conversation with Mark to ensure that what we wanted out of it from a corporate point of view matched up with what he needed from a professional and of course above all else safety point of view. So negotiation doesn't have to be somebody winning and losing. What we did was in fact put together all of our objectives and aims, understood what Mark wanted to achieve, he understood what we wanted to achieve, and we've come up with a plan to do with training and the timescales that work, professionally for us and him.
Excellent. And then the final of our 5 key skills for business is confrontation. Now, let's hope that doesn't come into play as we're going up in terms of confrontation between me, Tim, and our guide Mark. But Tim, where do you feel that confrontation and the ability to understand, plan for, and deal with confrontation would be of use in the climbing of the Mont Blanc challenge?
Again, for me, it's all about preparation. As a rule, people don't like confrontation very much. We try to avoid it, and we perhaps assume it's not going to happen. We don't talk about it. For you and I, that's not an option. At 4,500 metres, we are going to be very, very tired, 20 hours into a climb. We are going to be oxygen deprived. So therefore, the chances are we are going to fall out with each other, one way, shape, form or another. So for me, it's about developing a coping strategy so that we know how to talk to each other. We know our key decision points before we get there. We know how to manage the communication between ourselves. So I guess it's sort of pre-planning the confrontation, the trigger points, also getting to know each other. And in fact, usually confrontation happens because somebody's not comfortable or outside of their comfort zones. So in the case of our Mont Blanc challenge, for me, what's really important is you and I understand when we have some form of confrontation, somebody's not happy, and it's really important that we don't just press on, but we address that confrontation and settle it. I was going to say to fight another day, to climb another day.